What are kind of your thoughts and feelings this close to Election Day?
Well, I guess everybody's nervous and ready for it to get over, and I know probably half of the voters have already voted with the early voting, which is good. It's good for the people.
And then, I mean, on the subject of people, you've been on the court since 2004, is that correct?
2005.
2005. What else would you like to accomplish?
Well, I want to continue on the road work. Tom County has excellent roads. If you don't believe me, just go to the other counties, surrounding counties. And we must continue to do that work because that is movement for agriculture products and people going to work and taking kids to school and all places. But the rest is up kind of to the state as to what we're going to do or can do, because we are a branch of state government and we have rules that we have to abide by. And it's just difficult sometimes because right now the people are asking to reduce property tax. Well, there's so many programs that have been, I would like to just say, mandated. Some people say mandated. I call it programs that we have to operate or requested to operate by the state legislature. But we have to come up with the funding. Well, when that happens, we have to come up with some tax rate that we can work with. And right now, we cannot raise tax rate. And all these programs are increasing in cost. Again, we cannot raise the tax rate. The people want it lowered. Well, the only way that can happen if state legislature will reimburse us for the operation of these programs or fund them. And I'm talking about the big programs, law enforcement, jail, all the courts, providing attorneys for the criminals. And then you've got the health care. And that is over 8%, well, actually 8% of our budget goes to health care for the poor. It's called indigent health care. Well, if the state would help us here, we could greatly reduce the tax rate. But this has always been the message I'm trying to get out to the people. They need to talk to the state legislature so we don't have to fund all these programs for the state. And then we could greatly reduce the tax rate. But the way it is right now, it's difficult for us to. But then again, the state requires us to. We're kind of hit between a rock and a hard place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just 1 second here. I'm gonna fix your microphone cord, and then we will jump right into it.
I'm getting on to probably something different than what you
No.
asking me to do, but
No, sir. That answers my question, and it goes into my next question. You mentioned roads. You've talked a lot about funding. Is that your top priority, kind of the management of the funding, getting more funding, the state legislature? Would you say that's your top priority?
Well, in order to continue to operate as we have inflation and the cost of everything every year increases, well, we need more money. And then to make this efficient and really acceptable for the people, all the programs that we operate, we have 46 different departments in this county. and there's over 700 people employed. Well, all of these, again, we have to operate according to state law. Well, that can all change and cost more, and more people to be hired. Well, again, we're required to fund these programs. Well, I don't know how we're going to do it if the state legislature doesn't help us with funding. And that's one of the concerns that I have, my biggest concern right now. And state legislature's coming in session in January of this next year. And then by probably 1st of June, we'll know. And there can be some drastic changes. It could even come down to where the state would take over the county business. And then again, this is just in my opinion, it could come down to where the state would take over the county, and they would appoint the people to work. You would not have your local control people that the people of Tom Green County elect. They would be appointed people from the state, and there would not be any more elections. The elected officials, they wouldn't exist, in my opinion, because the state would appoint.
Do you believe that that is the biggest issue facing residents of your precinct, facing residents of Tom Green County?
Well, when you ask it that way, the residents are concerned about how to make a living. And then the tax is definitely another cost to them, and they want it reduced. And that's where I mentioned that the only way I can see that we can reduce it is by the state taking over their programs or funding us, reimbursing us for the cost of their programs. The programs that are not mandated, I mentioned 46. The ones that are not mandated right now is the county roads, the library, parks, and the sheriff deputies. So when the people want the tax rate cut, property tax reduced, of those what I mentioned, where are you going to make your cut? I certainly would not want the sheriff deputies any less. In fact, we need more. Well, are we going to stop road work? That's a big question. It's not mandated by the state. We have to fund the state's programs before we put any money towards roads. The library, this beautiful library we have, and branch libraries, you want to close those? No, I do not. Because you need those for the children as they're obtaining knowledge, and everyone. Parks, oh, I guess you could, but it's a place for people to go and have some recreation. So I don't know the answer. But these are my concerns. I've been here a long time. And right now I'm just concerned about what could happen from the next state legislature. And I want to maintain local control to where you can elect the commissioners, the judge, other elected officials here in the county. Keep your local control.
Well, on the subject of keeping that local control, keeping it local, the ability to elect, do you feel as though the people of Tom Green County, the people of your precinct, do you feel that their voices are heard in Commissioner's Court?
I feel they are, of course. Of course they're heard. And we got a large agenda every meeting. And I don't just vote on issues of my precinct. I vote on issues of all the precinct. So a lot of people are confused. They think the commissioner only votes and represents the precinct he's elected for. No, it's not that way. Because my vote counts for everything on the agenda for the entire county.
And then for people who are unsure, I mean, you see it happens with every election. You've got a group of people, small or large, that are unsure, undecided on where their vote should go. What is your message to those people who are unsure or undecided?
Well, I will continue to represent the people of Precinct 1 as I have in all the years I've been here. I am fully trained. I have the knowledge, experience, and just want to continue to serve them and work for them. And I'll continue as I have been. I'm always open to the people. My telephone here is always available to them. A lot of them have my cell number, and we attend to the business.
Excellent. And then last question, is there anything that I didn't bring up that we didn't discuss that you would like to make sure gets out there to the voters?
I don't think there's anything. I just brought up some big issue about the future, and the people really need to talk to their state legislature, their representative, the state senator, and the governor's office. And also Speaker of the House. Because we want to maintain local control, and we want to cut the property tax, but the state has to take over or reimburse the county's operation of their programs that they have instructed us, or programs we have to obey and operate for the state. And that's over approximately 80% of our budget is what we do for the state. People don't realize that. 80% is what we're doing for the state, that the state should be maintaining themselves, in my opinion.